Let's just say it. All of us have walked the dangerous road from Jerusalem to Jericho. And each of us at one time or another have been beaten up and left for dead. Beaten up by a job loss that has robbed us not only of our financial security, but of our own self-worth. Beaten up by a death of a loved one to the point where it's left a gaping hole in our lives that nobody will ever fill. Beaten up by a divorce that is itself, of course, a kind of death. A life-debilitating illness that forces us to stare our own mortality in the face. An addiction that's got us so clogged up and held captive by its iron grip that it seems almost inescapable. We have been this man. Some of us are this man. And because, folks, of the brokenness of who we are and who we are not, I challenge you to find me a road that is not dangerous. We have said it so oftentimes in the past that it almost seems trite to say it again, but I'm going to say it anyway. The message of the gospel is that irregardless of what dangerous road we travel, we will never travel it alone. This man didn't either. Disguised as a Samaritan, God stopped. And Luke wants us to know the extent of that God's love, and it is this point that I think is the heart of the parable. He saw the guy beaten up. He stopped. He had compassion. He went to him. He bound up his wounds. He poured on oil and wine. He put him on his donkey. He took him to an inn, and he took care of him. And if that's not good enough, he prepaid for the man's medical expenses long after he'd be gone. The parable of the Good Samaritan is not primarily about us helping people in need. It's about God stopping to help us. God's boundless love and grace. Luke says that even earlier in his gospel. Do you remember? Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, spilling over, has been put into your lap. The love and the generosity of God is endless. And God gives it all to you. There's a legend has it, I love this story, of God and Satan having a conversation. Wouldn't you love to have been there? God and Satan are talking to one another, and they're trying to figure out who's the most powerful being in the world. And so Satan decides, let's create a world. And whoever creates the most beautiful world, that's the one who is the most powerful. And Satan says to God, you start. So God reaches down in the ground and picks up a handful of dirt and throws it up in the air. And here is this absolutely gorgeous world. And Satan is not impressed. Satan reaches down and picks up a handful of dirt, and God says, wait a minute. Get your own dirt. Even the dirt is God's. And in an undying love for that dirt and God's creation, God takes every good and perfect gift and every joy and every blessing, and He wraps it all up nice, and He says to Bob and Phil and Christina and Eric, here, take it It's yours. This is how much I love you. That's what this text is about. And so I got a homework assignment. I know you love these. I have a homework assignment for every single one of you in this room. I'm going to ask, and I'm going to suggest you do it today, because if you're like me and tomorrow you do it, tomorrow never comes. So what I want you to do today before the Packers win is I want you to get a pad, a paper, and a pen. And for 30 minutes, I want you to write down on that pad of paper how God has been generous in your life. Financial security, friends, family, health, job success, small moments of grace. I don't know. Write it down. 30 minutes. I think you will discover that you have been generously blessed by God as much as the man on the road from Jerusalem to Jericho. It has been said, folks, that love is the selfless promotion of the well-being of somebody else. On the road from Jerusalem to Jericho, God said, "Here is my love. I love you with all my heart. Take it." And then God climbs up on a cross in case we missed it the first time.